There's very strong water sign energy today, with the moon having just moved into Scorpio, Venus also in Scorpio, and Venus forms a harmonious trine to Saturn in Pisces. And all of this deep psychic, emotional water energy today might cause you to feel as though your psychic abilities are turned up a notch. But it's also an opportunity to kind of do a little bit of a deep dive when it comes to the nature of your own psyche and the inner workings of your mind. The moon being in Scorpio really draws our attention inwards, and we notice things on a much deeper level. We notice the undertones, the subtext, the energetic currents that flow between ourselves and other people. It's not just about words, it's about feelings, it's about vibe. And with Venus being in Scorpio as well, that energy is amplified, especially in the context of the connections that we make. But there's also a tendency to kind of end up on the dark side if your feelings and your thoughts start to spin. For example, if you're struggling, you might see reasons of struggle reflected in your everyday environment, perceiving things to be more meaningful than they actually are. A lot of what happens in life, people say shit happens. A lot of that is really incidental. It is not intentional. And sometimes on spiritual journeys, people can get those things confused and think, okay, if I am struggling in life, what if that is a representation of spirit or God punishing me? And it's such a Christian mentality to feel as though we are being punished, but an ancient tradition of karma is the sense of balance. So for example, if we throw off the karmic scales of balance by behaving in a selfish or egotistical or hurtful way, then ultimately the energetic reverberations will come back to us, but not in the sense that we are particularly being punished. That's a very punitive Christian way of looking at it, and it's not entirely accurate. The more accurate description is you get what you give. So for example, if you throw a huge rock into a lake, you're going to get a big splash. You might get some water on your face. The energetic currents that come with karma also show us where and when we are getting in our own way. And with Venus forming this harmonious trine to Saturn today, we might realize that it is our own obsessions, inappropriate behavior or choices or reactivity that leads to loss. If we can accept that we have thrown big stones and we are seeing the splashes come back to us, it is then that we stop the karmic pattern. Because then we take responsibility and say, oh, okay, wait a minute. If I don't want to get splashed, I better not throw big rocks, right? Right. It's pretty simple. You don't touch a hot stove if you don't want to get burned. So basically, it is about being honorable. You're going to find today that not only do you feel extra psychic or extra tuned in, you might feel the emotions of other people. You might find that you're extra weepy or touched by small gestures, but one of the best ways to really utilize this energy is to tune into gratitude, to see those little moments in which our hearts are overflowing. And oh, how perfect, today's card is the Ace of Cups. Allowing our hearts to overflow helps us understand that each one of us has an immense capacity for emotions, and that capacity may often feel tilted in the direction of frustration and despair. But truly, in the element of karmic balance and entropy, which is organized chaos within the universe, there truly is energetic balance over time. But the really not fun thing is that our human brains are hardwired to remember the crappy stuff the most. And the reason our human brains do that is because it's survival. Back in the day, we had to remember that seeing a shadow when we came out of the cave might mean that a saber-toothed tiger is getting ready to eat us, right? So we have to thank our brains and go, okay, I understand you're trying to remind me of this crappy thing that happened so that it doesn't happen again. But throughout the day, we have to really make an effort to remind ourselves of gratitude too. We have to think about all the ways in which we're blessed. Sometimes we forget that green light, that kind gesture from a friend, that money that you found on the sidewalk, whatever it was, or coming out of a hard day and seeing a rainbow in the sky. We all have moments of feeling like, wow, okay, spirit is shining down on me. But because life is busy and lots of things happen, sometimes we forget those things. So today, as your heart is overflowing with emotion, see what you can do to focus on gratitude and see what you can do to expand your capacity of emotional awareness beyond the things that have caused you sadness. Anyways, deep thoughts for Friday. I hope you have a magical weekend. I'm Erin. I'm QueenBeeTarot. I've got full-length detailed horoscopes on my YouTube channel. Take care out there, and I will see you tomorrow.